Right, there's this thing in there, tongue blocking versus puckering on harmonica. Now, the reason why I thought I'd make this video is just in case you find it whilst you're beginning the journey of working out what's best. So I'm going to title this video versus tongue blocking versus puckering. It's misleading, okay? There ain't a versus. There isn't a best. Okay, there isn't a versus, there isn't a best. Okay, right? There's various reasons why people do one, and there's various reasons why people might lean more towards the other. Right, I've been on this journey for about 3 years or more. Okay, Will Wild, I've heard him say in his video, he puckers because that's how he learned. That's how he learned when he was young. Okay, but I've also seen him tongue block because he is eclectic. It's sort of like he plays blues and then rock, and I've seen him do various things in between, and some of that involves vamping and tongue. So I've seen him do all that sort of thing, flutters and that sort of thing, and you sort of think he's not puckering there, and he has actually spoke on it. So he's probably got a video, tongue blocking versus puckering. Okay, but remember what I said. He has said in his video that he's a puckerer because that's how he taught. That's how he learned when he was younger. Okay, right. Now I believe Adam Gusso. So I'm going to go through. See, this now isn't really my opinion. It's what many people say. Adam Gusso, I believe he's a puckerer in the most. You pick up one of his beginner videos, beginner lesson sort of thing, like I did, and I started puckering. So one of the things, the amazing shuffle, which was draw and hold to, and then open it up to a chord. I can't pucker. That sort of pucker because I'm puckering, hold to, but then opening. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't practice that. But what I'm saying to you is that's Adam Gusso. He's a puckerer. Mostly, but again, he would be like Will Wild, where many that's him. He would use tongue blocking too, and he would have videos where he says, you just can't do this without tongue blocking. Okay, there's just certain things. It's almost like maybe I shouldn't say you can't. Now here's another one, Ben Beaumont. Ben Beaumont is the sort of guy, he's like an engineer when it comes to harmonica, right? Okay, I've had lessons with him and he's helped me like a mentor. When it comes to bending, he can emanate the like this sort of thing, and you think, what's going on there? But what I'm saying is he is like the professor engineer. Yeah, so he can probably do most things, right, puckering, that you can do tongue blocking, because he likes the challenge, and he's like hardcore. He's like the engineer sort of thing, likes to work out the workings of what's going on. And if you watch him, so if you spoke to him, he would advocate both, not one or the other, both. But I think if you watch him in his band and whatnot, you'll tell he's got his mouth wide open because he's going for big tone. That's who he is. That's what he does. And his playing is probably sort of, that bigger tone holds 1, 2, 5, cordial, tongue, bends. Yeah, right. So who else have we got? So Liam Ward, for instance, his material probably mostly sort of leans towards, like, I bought his bending courses, okay, and I just didn't think about it at the time, right? I'm not saying it's a mistake. I love the guy, Liam Ward. He's really good. But here, the lessons, there was something like three of these courses. You know, Boxing Day deal, so much percent off. So I bought it. I'm not saying, it's just that I haven't really used it. Reason being is because I quickly noticed that it was aimed at puckerers. So some of it is actually getting you to bend. Now that I can bend better, really, I should go and get the courses that I've downloaded and practice some of the exercises that he's got in those courses, and they would be beneficial because they're exercise. Anything that's an exercise is beneficial. Anything that is showing techniques and stuff like that might not be beneficial from any of these guys, because they might not be talking to you about where you're at right now. Okay, so that's Liam Ward. Great guy. He now does both puckering and tongue blocking. But what I'm saying is, some of his beginner stuff, for instance, would be like a pucker sort of thing. I believe now he's got bending courses for benders, for tongue blockers. Right, another one that comes to mind, excuse me, Richard Slay. Great guy, great resources, free resources on YouTube. His Irish course is awesome. I highly recommend it. Very cheap. I've bought it and really beneficial. So here's an example. So I've just saw a question in a forum where somebody has said, apparently, I can only say apparently here, that person said, Liam Ward said, tongue block holes 3 or 4 up. Okay, and see, some people might say tongue block holes 1 to 4, but then pucker upwards because of blow bends and over stuff like that. But is the Irish course that Richard Slay does, so which is can be largely, you know, holes 5 to 10. I'm not even going to play it for you here. My point is, right, I'm tongue blocking. I'm talking fast. I'm trying to play fast. This is one of those videos that is packed with information about the community. Okay, it's not about me trying to show you something. It's about me catching you in that place. Oh, what should I do? This better or that better? No, it ain't like that. So there's Richard Slay. He's got a course on bending. Again, I bought it. Great. I'm not talking great. Right. Richard Slay releases a course, okay, on Teachable, right? And he's not even finished the course because he's going to keep adding to it. And if you say to him, mate, what about this? He'll go, all right, then I'll maybe add a bit more about that, because I didn't think about that at the time. See, most people, they create some resources, they package it, they video it, whatever, they put it out there. It's done. But this guy, I tell you what, and he'll even refund the money if you're not happy with it, right? Okay, but you know, I'm not saying do that. I'm literally saying this guy, Richard Slay's good. But it come to a place where I went, oh, what about this then, Richard? And he went, oh, just pucker it. And I was like, mate, I cannot pucker. I don't pucker. I can't, I won't, I ain't gonna, all right? Right? That's just me. Right? I got my own reasons for that. Mostly see, this is right. Let me catch you here. I, family man, a busy life, church, job, family, busy. If I ain't doing something, I'll fall asleep, right? Okay. So I pick the harmonica. It's therapeutic. It's good for me. Some days I've only got 6 minutes to practice. Some days I've got 20. Some days I've got 40 minutes. Okay. So let's say I've got 10 minutes of practice. I cannot commit myself to puckering and tongue blocking. I cannot do it. Yeah, right. Here's one that comes. There's two people that come to mind: Jason Ritchie, Ronnie Cellist. They both use both. Jason Ritchie plays fast often, but if you watch his videos, he will say that he bends. Tongue blocking, holes. He's got a video on it. He can bend holes 1 to 4. Tongue blocking, using his throat as well. Engaging his throat, whether he uses it. Engage in his throat. But he does he does both. He's that sort of guy. He's versatile, and he's committed his life to music, committed his life to harmonica and teaching and all that stuff. Great stuff. Go. So again, you've got somebody, right, who has committed their life. You know, he's not just talking 10 minutes practice when he gets home with the kids or whatever, or, you know, sat in the car doing the shopping and 10 minutes of practice. He's committed. That's his life. Okay. So this is like, you need to weigh up what you commit yourself to. Okay. Ronnie Cellist, awesome harmonica player, and I can't quote him for sure, but I know he does both. Okay, people like him and Jason Ritchie do what they got to do to get what they need to get across. To be, yeah, they're both very resourceful guys, and again, Ronnie Cellist committed his life to the harmonica world, harmonica blues and stuff like that. So, you know, he's just another one of those guys who can do both. Okay, and now he might be the sort of guy who would say holes 1 to 4. I think, I'm not 100% sure. Tongue block holes 1 to 4. But then pucker holes upwards. So he might be the opposite way round to what this person quoted Liam Ward. But I don't really want to quote as a fact with him. I'm not 100% sure. All I'm saying, I know for sure he uses both. I know that for sure. Okay, I've heard him on his videos, in his classes. So there's let me think. Tomlin, right? You join his school. He doesn't really mention the pucker thing much, but he teaches beginners pucker in a sense. I think when it comes to beginners, and I'm sure he's a tongue blocker now. I'm sure he probably does both. And I take my hat off to people who do both. Yeah, that's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Right, here's a list of people who kind of say they only tongue block. And don't quote me. I'm not saying they never ever pucker. I'm just sort of saying they mostly tongue block. So when I say a list, there ain't really a list, right? Joe Flisco would say that he puckers pretty much everything. And when I started tongue blocking, Joe Flisco, tongue blocker. Okay. When I started tongue blocking, it was because a guy suggested it to me, Ian Boyle. Great player, and that was on bluesharmonica.com. You know, you buy a blues, you buy a Hona harmonica, and it comes with a little voucher and says, 30-day free lessons with bluesharmonica.com. Dave Barrett, he's one. He would say tongue blocking. That course is quite specific, really, for tongue blocking. And if anyone wants to comment on here, on other people who only tongue block, then please do. Please do. I actually spoke about, people who mostly pucker, or people who do a bit of both. Like Ronnie Shellers, Jason Ritchie. And I'm sure Richard Slade does a bit of both as well. None of these guys. See, and that is a good point, actually. Whether it's Will Wilde, Liam Ward, Tomlin, Ronnie Shellist, Jason Ritchie, if you watch enough of their videos, you will see a progression, a journey. Like if you go right back, even like Jason Ritchie, he's not quiet about this. He says, yeah, he's quite open. He now tongue blocks certain things, and he will say, what pucker does better and what tongue blocking does better. So if you found this video, before when you see Facebook groups and communities, if you find mature players, they will sort of elevate, promote both of these things. Okay. The trouble is, though, if you ask these questions in some of the forums, you'll get comments like, "Oh, puckering is like, I don't know, it's like the poor man's version of playing. Like it's the, like tongue blocking is superior and the greatest and like the only way to do it, and like anyone from, the slave days and stuff like that, real blues, they only tongue blocked and they never used microphones and there was no amplifiers and no pedals, and they walked around with chains on and they tongue blocked." Do you know what I mean? No, and that's the problem with some of the comments you get in Facebook groups. Okay, the mature player, the likes of Will Wilde, would not say to you that puckering is the only way to go, or tongue blocking. They would, there's balance. You explore it, use it. If you're on this journey, though, like if you're puckering, then just pucker and enjoy it until you get to a song or something and you go, "Well, I want to do that," and someone says, "Well, you can't do all of that unless you tongue block," and then give it a go. See, that's what I was saying about myself. What I did was I was puckering, and like I said, let's say I got 10 minutes to practice. Yeah, I was constantly telling myself to relax, and all these people, don't they? They go, yawn and get in and relax. So I spent like 3 or 4 minutes of my 10 minutes trying to relax, okay? Because the pucker, I'm not having a go at puckering. I'm just saying, for me, it was sort of tense. And it always sounded sort of, for me, it always sounded a bit tense and a bit sort of not on point sort of thing. And I've shown this in, so this is one of the things for me. D Ford Stream, Joe Falisco. See, so I think that's an example of one of the things that would be quite difficult. I'm tongue switching there. Whole. I'm doing this with my tongue, covering hole 2, moving across. So for anyone who sort of says tongue block holes 4 up, that might have been something that somebody said for you to start on. So octaves. You can't. I don't think you can play octaves without tongue blocking, because you're putting your tongue on the post in between. Yeah. So that's one thing. Well, so you can't do octave splits without tongue blocking. So there's an example of something you have to have, right? So yeah, I can only imagine if someone like Liam Ward said pucker 5 up, he might have been suggesting you start by that means. So so here's puckering, sorry, tongue blocking holes 1 to 4. That's the major scale on holes 1 to 4. And so he might be right, because 4 up might be right in a sense, because 4 up would be easier, because over here you've just got holes. Down here you've sort of got, you know, the end of the harmonica, which shape different depending on what harmonica you got. You got to get around this issue of that with hole 1. But no, in general, hole 1. B flat, sorry. G, Ben Beaumont, custom. Don't quote me on those bends that I got there. I rarely use this harmonica. I haven't spent much time with a G harmonica. But if I took some time with the G, it would be no different to any other. I don't think you could do that so in such a relaxed manner, such a full-bodied way, with a tongue pucker, with a pucker. Very sensitive. It's Ben Beaumont custom harmonica. To be honest, I rarely use it because I'm kind of saving it. I don't want to open it up and start doing stuff to it, because it costs a little bit more money than a regular, and it's set up for someone who plays softly, and I'm getting there. A harmonica is the key anyway for D4 string. Right, did I forget anybody? I've probably forgotten some people there. Okay. Um, so, what are we talking about here? You know, what's better? What's best? That's quite often people say, "Oh, what should I do? What should I do? What's right? What's wrong? What's best and what's better?" In this case, there isn't really one of them. Uh, this business of harmonica, tongue blocking, puckering, it's a bit like, what car should I drive? Yeah, what car should I drive? The whether I hit a note correctly, yeah, that's like, what gear should I drive in? Yeah, there is a right and wrong. You don't go up a hill in fifth gear or sixth gear, okay? You're going to stall the car, right? You don't put diesel in a petrol car, okay? There is a right and wrong in some regards, but whether you go with Hona or Zidal is a bit like what car you pick. It's what you get to like, what you get to enjoy. I would say give them both a try. I would say sort of stick with one, especially if you're learning to bend. If you're a newbie and you're learning, the time that you put into this, if you're a regular person, not a musician, just a regular person, the time you put into this, you want to get some good stuff out. So if you stick with the same car all the time, you get better at driving it. If you jump around, you got to start again all the time. So there isn't a right or wrong. There isn't a best. There isn't a best. Um, and and listen to people, but then compare the market. Yeah, for me, I committed myself to tongue blocking because of the lack of time I had, and it was suggested, and I went with that suggestion. And since then, I haven't really looked back. It is an acquired taste, I think. But possibly the more you go on puckering, you might end up being that person who says, I can not tongue block. You might get to that stage where you start saying, I can't do it. And plus, what happens is, let's say you do the one for a year or 2 years, 3 years, and then someone suggests you do the other or something, and you try it. You're in that position where you're a beginner again. A minute ago, you could play songs, puckering, you could string things together and impress people, get people going and stuff like that. And now it's like back to square one. I can't even do a single note. That's what it's like when you go from one of these to the other. That's what it's like a little bit, for me, puckering. Pucker. See? Tongue block. For me, tongue blocking is the more relaxed approach. Pucker. I like the relaxed. I need to be relaxed. no right or wrong. There's not a version, versus, vices, versus. There's no winner here. The winner is the one who sits and enjoys the music. The listener is the winner. The one that goes, oh wow, I love that. Because 9 times out of 10 they ain't gonna know whether it's been puckered or tongue blocked. Yeah. The one that needs to work these things out is the one who's playing it, and the journey might look different for one teacher to another, and to another totally different. There you go. Be encouraged. Enjoy what you're doing. If you've been tongue blocking for a couple of weeks, I'd say stick with it. Stick with it. What happens is, it's like anything else, like guitar or harmonica. There's this muscle memory. Your tongue will learn, as long as you're practicing stuff, your tongue will start to work automatically. Yeah, like when I'm mostly, my tongue's in one place anyway. I'm just moving the harmonica.